Just a heads up, this jerk decided he wanted to be in the video today, even though I covered him and tried to keep him quiet. So you're gonna hear him a little bit in the beginning part. That's just because he doesn't want to be quiet all the time. Bad baby. Are you bad baby? Yes, you're bad baby. Alright, let's get to the video. Seirei no Moribito, or Guardian of the Spirit, if you prefer the English version. This is a really fun, high fantasy, traditional old Japan type of setting adventure story, and I really like it. And the basic plot is there's this bodyguard called Balsa. She's 30 years old, so she's been a bodyguard for a while, and she gets the job of protecting the young prince of the kingdom named Chagam. And there's something weird and mysterious going on with him, and some people think he's dangerous, but that he has to be killed. But his mother obviously disagrees with that, so she hires Balsa to protect them. So they're on the run from the king and these elite assassins that are trying to hunt Chagam down. And that's the basic setup for the story. This series started out as a series of young adult novels by the writer Uehashi Nahoko, and she's actually won multiple awards in Japan for her writing, and she's apparently this really famous author, and I had never heard of her before, but now I'm kind of interested in checking her out. The anime is directed by Kamiyama Kenji, who also did Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, which is like one of the best science fiction animes out there and one of the best in the whole Ghost in the Shell franchise. So I didn't know that he did that until I started researching this, but that is a really good, competent director. And you could kind of say there is a similarity between Ghost in the Shell and Moribito, because they're both about a strong, somewhat of a loner woman who protects people. So, interesting comparison there. Even though this is a very strongly Japanese world, the series that it most reminded me of is actually an American animation, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which, I mean, it is based on an Asian setting, but something about the way that the fantasy works and the way they balance a serious tone without getting too dark and too not kid friendly in this show. And I think that for an anime, Moribito also has a little bit more of a Western style to it. It doesn't get too into the chibis and stuff like that, and the character proportions are a little bit more realistic. So I think if you have heard of Avatar, if you like Avatar, then this might be the kind of series that would appeal to you. I am not an expert on action or fight scenes at all, but to me at least, the action seemed very competently done in this anime. There's a lot of movement, but it's not so fast that you can't tell what's happening. And the direction does a really good job of setting up what people are up against and what the danger is. And you really feel every blow and every punch that's going on in the fight scenes. And you kind of see how someone has to move when, I mean, for example, Balsa, when she's carrying this big spear thing that she uses all the time, you see sort of how she has to maneuver it and step back and then wield it around for the next blow and stuff like that. So it really puts you into the situation of the characters, and you never get lost, even though it is quickly paced and very fluid. The characters are great in this. I particularly love Madame Torogai. I know that she is kind of a cliche character for a fantasy setting. She's essentially old lady Yoda, but she's old lady Yoda! It's awesome! I also like Tanda, who is the male lead in this, and I think it's very easy when you have a warrior woman as the center of the story to make the men kind of, pathetic and weaklings and stuff like that, which I really don't like. I don't think that showing a strong woman means showing a weak male. I don't think that strength is looking down on people or being mean to them or bullying them. So I really like how Tanda is portrayed as being a more kind, a more nurturing character. He's really good with people, and even though he can be a little bit doofy at times and he's not strong in the same ways that Balsa is, he's never just the butt of a joke, and we're never laughing at him. He is also strong in his own way, and he's sort of wise in the herb lore and healing and in the magic of this world, which is a really nice compliment to our more action-driven, physically strong, but emotionally not that savvy main character. So I really like him as the male lead. I also like the little kid in this, Chagam, because he starts out very fearful, very weak, and he has good reason to be because he's been very sheltered and now people are trying to kill him, and he's outside the palace for the first time in his young life. And as the show goes on, he not only gets to experience village life and living among the common people and seeing what people are really like, but he also grows to be more strong and more confident and more able to defend himself. So he really goes from a frightened child to a strong young man who will eventually someday be a really good leader in this 26 episode anime. So I really like watching that. And obviously I can't talk about this show without talking about the main character, who is Balsa, the bodyguard who kind of kicks off the whole story. And she is an interesting main character because she's not someone who likes to talk about herself, not someone who likes to express her own emotions, not someone who likes to appear weak or vulnerable, but as we go through the story and learn more about the characters, and we kind of learn about her through the other characters as Chagam gets kind of interested in who she is and where she came from. So through this experience, she is kind of forced to open up a little bit more about her past and why she feels the need to protect people and why she does what she does. So I think that she's not someone that puts herself out there, but as you kind of watch her, you see her personality through her actions and through the risks she takes and how she's put in some really tough situations, but she does what she needs to do in order to save people, and you see what's driving that as the story goes on. So she's a very interesting main character. I would say this is a good family show. It has the deeper stuff, it has the action, it has a sense of danger, but it never really crosses the line into being like too gory or too disturbing for, say, a 10-year-old to watch. I think a 10-year-old could watch it and feel mature because it is a heavier story, but it's not going to be something where you just can't show it to your kids because there's too much nudity or too much gore or anything like that. And I'd say if you like the more high fantasy worlds, the high fantasy epics, like if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, if you're an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, then you're gonna like the world of this story. So that is my recommendation. Seirei no Moribito. Fun characters, a really cool world to explore, and good times will be had by all. Thank you for watching.